I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love.
Hello, and today I am going to be doing, well, I'm going to be playing, well, the Stanley Parable. Now, I've heard a lot about this game recently, so I decided to go out and, well, get it and play it for myself. And yeah. Oh wow. Computerception. I can see my computer inside that computer inside that computer. That's trippy. Anyway. Enough that noise. And yeah, anyway, to the game. Right. Like I said, this is the first time I've played this game. I've heard a lot about it, and I'm hoping that it's as good as people have been saying. Because, to be fair, it was, well, a very small game to install, so it's so small. It's got a lot
This is
running
the
on it.
story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so I took control. Right. He seems like a very boring job. Very boring indeed. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What am I meant to be doing?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. So what am I meant to be doing? I don't get it. Okay. I'll just be walking.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
if I enter that door? What happens if I enter that door? I guess there's something bad, so I'm gonna go for the left, like you told me. That's a really creepy room. It's like one of those rooms that a really fat, obese man would sit just in the dark all night. That's just the basement room. A room for no one. So perfect. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Oh my god. Heaven. I'm looking at heaven. Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Whiteboard manager. There's a whiteboard manager. Who's friends? Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda item. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. So, okay. Push for funding for R+D new coffee machine. Okay. What was that for? Right. Get Chris out the broom. Get Chris out the broom closet. Hire someone to... Okay. Why didn't he... What the fuck? Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to
Stanley
fire
just stood
paper
there doing nothing at all.
guy.
He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Okay. How rude. Okay, they're very weird people in this place.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I walked upstairs. Is this his office? No, it's not his executive bathroom, okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Okay.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2, 4, 8, 5.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. 2845.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yeah. Okay. don't really know what to say about this game. It's weird. That's possibly the best way I could describe it. Weird.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Mind
door that
control
read Mind
facility.
Control Facility.
That says escape. Is the object to get out of this place? What happens if I go for escape? Down that long and hopeless corridor. Mind control facility. Escape. Mind control facility. Fucking I'm gonna escape. I'm escaping here.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making
evil.
a conscious,
Now listen to
concerted
it.
effort to
Evil.
walk forward
Shut up. Shut up.
and
You're gonna kill
willingly
me.
confront his death.
No. No. I will not Oh. It will not be my death. I did not die. I escaped. I heard the wind. I am free.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he
Meow.
resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh shit.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm alive!
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What? What? I was dead? Beep. What the fuck? Is that the game? Is that the game? What's that literally the game? I just completed the game. Ooh! Okay. So, what? It's like I'm in a museum. I died, pretty much. I died. So,
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No, I can't.
Perhaps not.
I can't.
Sometimes these things cannot be
I
seen.
can't see at all.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push
What?
escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let
Okay, okay. Oh my god. Did I win? Did I win? I must have won. Did I won?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh, shut
What
up.
did it mean?
Evil man.
Stanley decided to go to the
Evil
meeting
man,
room.
you're gonna
Perhaps
kill
he
me.
had simply missed a
Piss
memo.
off. Piss off. Piss off.
When
you.
Stanley came
Fuck
to
you.
a set of two
Fuck
open,
you.
this was not the
Fuck you.
correct way to
No.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew
No.
it perfectly well.
No.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
No.
employee lounge first,
No.
just to admire it.
No.
Yes, truly a room
No.
worth admiring, but
No.
eager to get back to business,
No.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. No.
Stanley was so bad at
No.
following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her,
Fucking hell.
Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To
What?
reach out to her.
What? Hello? Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
What?
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press 5 on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every
Okay.
button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Okay. Press 7.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's
Okay.
eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's
Okay.
chosen this life.
Press 2.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press B to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work,
What?
he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his
people's
boss,
here.
everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press I to spend time with the boys?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something
TV?
was almost too wonderful to behold.
Why have I got a plastic wife? Press I to prepare dinner?
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press one, or press 1.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press V to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press X to be at work in the morning. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. No. No. Ice cream. No. Why? No. No. Wait. No matter how distorted I get the screen, it's still there. No, I'm not pressing it. Now I can hear a clock. Where's the... Oh. Oh my god, it's even... Oh, wow. Seconds. I can just watch time for a while. Yeah. Was that a test? Oh, I'm actually meant to press it. What happens if I press it? I'll wait till it gets to 12. If nothing happens, I'll press it, because I don't know. I don't know if I should press it or not. I should. Okay. Fuck it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
But he's
And
died.
I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Ah! I didn't do anything, I swear. I did not touch anything. What the fuck? The fuck? Right. I'm confused, really. I'm so confused right now. So I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will be doing more on this soon. as confusing as it is. So, yeah. It's a goodbye from me.